Welcome everyone to the Crypto Sunday Night Live. Are you prepared for the next move? Let's hope you are. Let's see what the charts have to say.
How's it? How's everyone tonight? How are you doing, Stoney? How are you doing, Smiley? What's happening, guys?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good. Just sorting out some technicalities with the mic this weekend, but now we're ready to roll. So let's have a look at what the charts are showing us, and we're going to start with Bitcoin as our lead indicator. We've had quite an interesting weekend overall, since obviously we've spoken on Friday and we did our weekly review from the past Sunday's report. Now, looking at what we saw, what had happened literally after we finished the Friday night Hangouts meeting on Friday, we literally saw Bitcoin dropping down through the $53,000 level as we anticipated. We actually came down quite nicely into sort of the $42,000, $42,500 level that Smiley actually pointed out quite nicely to us on Friday night. And we've highlighted the zones that we've spoken about that we did not add in the report for last week, but we added it in this week just to give you guys some clarity and some update on, Bitcoin and how it's moved. Now, currently, what we can see, we had this nice weak rejection actually at the $42,000 flat sort of level, where we had quite a significant push back up into this sort of $47,500 to $50,000 range, which was quite amazing to see. And we've been monitoring and discussing it over the weekend in sort of our analyst group and that, with all our members and that. And it was quite amazing to see. I saw some of our members sending us messages saying they got in at around about the $44,500 to $45,500 level, which was quite amazing to see. And some of the guys being up in the leverage side with almost up to 60% on their trades, which was quite amazing to see. I just thought I'd put that out there, but it's quite phenomenal. Now, what we saw like literally an hour or maybe slightly more ago as we watched the markets, and I'm just going to scale down to a lower time frame. What was quite interesting to see with this push that we saw with this major wick here, with the sort of consolidation, mitigation, and then moving up sort of into the higher levels, what we saw was a similar move to what I explained on the Friday night Hangouts, where we had this sort of look at this sort of curvature or this curve, the rate of how price action performed, where again we had some engineered liquidity similar to what we've seen on the higher time frames, which was quite nice to see. Now, I've been speaking to some members over the weekend during the course of Saturday as well as today, and what I said is that we are definitely going to look for a correction sort of into this consolidation here to sort of fill this price inefficiency, and that where you could have seen that you could have had a beautiful entry at this consolidation just to add to your position. Now, currently, what we are seeing, and I'm just going to switch over to the sort of higher time frame, just so we can have a more holistic view of the market and so we can see our key levels that we've mapped out for you guys. Now, what is important for us to see is that firstly, we've broken or changed the market structure on the lower time frames, like your 5 minutes, your 15 minutes, and we're trying to break through the sort of 1 hour to 4 hour levels. Now, the 4 hour level or range is sort of this $53,000 to $55,000 level, which is still quite a while away. But as you could see from our analysis on Friday, that price can very, very quickly, take out these levels, depending on obviously the objective of the market makers, the institutions, the commercials. So what we are currently seeing is price battling to break, just so you can see a bit clearer on the 1 hour, where it's forming quite nicely. You can see this sort of accumulation for sort of a redistribution before continuation to the upside. Now, what we want to see firstly, is we want to see a break above this zone that we have, which firstly is sort of at the $50,000 level, keeping in mind that's a key psychological level where typically people would want to sell if they were planning on going short or adding to their positions much lower down if they feel that the market is overall bullish. But for us, we can see that the market from a higher time frame perspective, as we again spoke on Friday night, and still sort of outlook on the market has not changed from a bullish perspective, as we can see that we've made a nice continuation to a bullish uptrend. And as long as we are in this sort of dealer range or trading range, we are still remaining bullish unless we break below this level that we spoke about on Friday, which is this $40,000 level. Now, like I said, with Bitcoin and not hammering too long onto Bitcoin, is that we need to break above the $50,000 level as a first sort of sign of strength or willingness or initiation into a potential move higher. And then secondly, we've mapped out in our report for our members the $52,000 as well as the $53,000 level is key sort of levels to break above to see a continuation for this bullish run that we're expecting to hopefully happen sort of in the later part of next week. Should we not see it sooner, but it all depends on what we see tonight by midnight, what the candle close would indicate, as well as what tomorrow morning will bring on a Monday. But without further ado, I'm going to give over to Stony, as I would like to find out, what I've seen and noticed, analyzing the charts on the weekend. I've noticed Bitcoin had a 28% retracement, and Ethereum, which we're going to talk about after Smiley's, input on Bitcoin, is that Ethereum only retraced 26%, which was quite interesting to see, because typically if Bitcoin retraces, we typically expect, the alts to retrace, 15 to 20% more, depending on obviously what project it is, but also, looking at if the algo for the alts are following Bitcoin sort of, dominance, or if it's, broken out of that algorithmic momentum and movement and sort of following its own sort of direction, which we can see Ethereum showed a bit of strength. So, Stony, can you tell us maybe, is there anything fundamentally that's pointed out why this has occurred? What I've noticed is that Grayscale and MicroStrategies, from a commercial point of view, has added more to their position in their Bitcoin and various altcoin portfolios that they are managing. Is there anything else apart from sort of that sort of obvious, updates and that? Is there anything else that could indicate why Ethereum has sort of showed us a bit of more strength and resistance towards Bitcoin? Stony, are you there? I think I'm going to come back to Stony. Smile, do you want to give me some input on what you see in the markets, looking at the past weekend, and what have you noticed sort of, as we're discussing Bitcoin at the moment, just before we head into Ethereum for the analysis for the week?
All right. Thanks again, Smokey. Yeah. Rightly following your analysis, everything wasn't intact. We called the move, I think, last Friday when we had the webinar. All the structural key zones were respected. Now, checking the weekly time frame and following following your analysis, I think we're on the right path. Checking the weekly time frame, all the key zones, demand zones have been filled already. Now, what I'm expecting now is a close above the 49, a close above $43,169. So now back to what you said, checking the structural highs and lows, everything is intact. We are still bullish. BTC is still bullish. Looking from the weekly perspective, Bitcoin is still bullish. But I will keep my technical terms low, and I think we have no BTC price has no reasons to go down to 20,000, 30,000, $1,000 again. Reason being so is that checking, permit me to use this technical word, the word imbalances. The imbalances in this chart I'm seeing right now has been filled up to 50% upon creation, meaning that when the imbalances were created, meaning we were trying to create equilibrium. Are you getting me? So the moment we created that imbalances, market set in and we had an equilibrium, meaning we put in the buyers and the sellers. So the buyers and the sellers are interacting in the market. So reason before we can see Bitcoin visiting the next demand zone around $30,412 and $27,050 zones, that means we are going to go down a little bit underneath the 50% imbalances that has been filled. So adding that to what Smokey has said, I think and I believe Smokey's analysis is on the right path. Yeah, it's on the right path. According to what he said we want a close above the 40,000 before we can continue the structural move, another impulsive move. A close where above this will be, let's say within this midnight and tomorrow, that we're going to get a confirmation on that. And according to what he said, checking the lower time frames, we are getting some structural move already. We are getting some structural breaks already. So I think, and I know that this analysis is going to play out following all structures, ways, demand zones, supply zones, everything is intact. So Smokey, I say the analysis is right. And it was the call we made on Friday was very, 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 very fantastic. So now the next move we're expecting now is we can see even adding the daily time frame. The daily time frame. Checking the daily time frame, we can see the demand zone and a demand zone came around. Let me see. It came around. Sorry, I want to get the actual figure. Yeah. It came around 39,406. The zones of 39,406 and 36,425. So we had a demand zone over there, and price came there around around 20 September 2021. Price came back there to fill in the demand zone again, and what we have another rally up, which creates another structural break. Now, on the 30th of September, we had a visit again. We visited that zone again, which we had another break. So now we seeing this price, this long wiki candle over this demand zone is trying to give us another structural break. Following the past histories, I believe we should have another break, another momentum, another impulsive move to the upside. If we have a close, checking the objective side, if we have a close beneath the 40,000 zone, then that means we are going to go back to the demand zone of to the demand zone of $30,412 and $27,050, which is going to be very, 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 very weird. So Smokey, I think that's all I have to say with your analysis. It was intact, exactly the same I'm seeing and anticipating.
Perfect, man. Thanks so much. Let's see. Stony, are you back yet? Can you give us an update about Ethereum and Bitcoin and what, is there any, fundamentals apart from what we know, like the big commercials like MicroStrategy's, Grayscale and them adding to their positions? Apart from those sort of key fundamental indicators, is there anything else that you can see why Ethereum has, sort of resisted Bitcoin and had a much smaller retracement than what Bitcoin had initially put out over the weekend?
Look, I think for any real crypto enthusiast, you would know that Bitcoin was essentially the first coin that's been around. but we all kind of knew that it wouldn't be the one that would eventually be the main coin essentially taking over. We know because of Ethereum being the second, because of its technology being available to create dApps, to create DeFi, it's made room for a lot of innovation where Bitcoin didn't. And you know, I think a lot of people expected that cross to happen sooner from the Bitcoin to the Ethereum market, but we haven't seen the adoption happen from the institutions as we'd like to. And I think it's because of, you know, all these hacks still happening, all the bugs within the DeFi space. So institutions are extremely careful, but it was quite shocking to see, not even from a charting point, but from a fundamental point of view, you can see very, very strong push to the upside when it comes to these ulterior coins that actually have some innovation behind them. So it was interesting to see that for the first time ever, whilst Bitcoin had a massive drop, Ethereum was actually pushing back with a lot of resistance, because there's a lot of value with a lot of the applications, I think, running on the Ethereum network.
Awesome. Sorry about that. No, I think that, you know, I think what's key now is like the fundamentals, as well as what we've done with, you know, focusing on the technical analysis. I think it really aligns quite well, like our pricing models and our external data that we use from a sort of institutional level, or looking at it from an institutional level, even though we are, you know, small in scale compared to the commercials. I think this is really quite crucial to have this data to obviously strengthen our analysis, to see where we can, you know, potentially look at, you know, some of the buying opportunities. And like I said earlier, like some of our members, they took, you know, the key levels that we've mapped out for, you know, their trading portfolios and stuff that are currently sitting at like 60% up on some of their portfolios, which is amazing. Now let's look at Ethereum and see what, you know, we can read based off the charts and based off what the psychology of the market is indicating and telling us, instead of, you know, speculating or thinking or being opinionated about the market. Let's have an objective approach about the market so that we can make these accurate calls. And again, looking at the sort of overall structure on a higher time frame premise, we can still see that Ethereum is still quite very bullish. Now, like we said last week's report, and we mentioned on Friday, we failed to break, you know, a solid candle close above the $4,550 level. Now, a candle close, if I can just, you know, show some clarity around this, a candle close above a certain range that we're speaking about in our analysis, it needs to be 2/3 at least of the candle body that needs to be closed above a certain zone in order to give us the highest probability and clarity for intent for the market to move in a certain direction. So this is quite crucial to understand, because a wick, if there's a wick above, this does form, you know, a higher high compared to the previous lower high. However, a wick indicates to us that there is a rejection. Now this pin bar here that we see here, just to get some more info into this did close above the $4,550 level, but because of the wick rejection and the fractal formation of the swing high in this particular example, that indicated that this is actually lower than the previous lower high because of the wicks and not bodies. And that is why we could clearly say that the price is wanting to trade down lower, to fill price inefficiency, and to obviously, you know, give more confirmation. Now, what we also see in this particular instance, looking at the current price action, is we did not break below this level or range. We did not have a candle close below this level. Now, what does that mean from an objective and from a technical sort of analysis perspective? That means that this pin bar here, this wick rejection, shows us that they filled in price inefficiency in this region, and they are wanting to potentially push price back up, and that this is purely a liquidity grab for momentum to get out the early adopters that got in here, to stop them out so that they can grab that money and move the price higher. Now we're currently sitting in the $4,000 to $4,550 range from a demand and a supply, or supply and demand perspective. So we're sitting in this current range at the moment. Now we don't have clarity until we've broken either above this level to give us bullish intent that gives us bullish direction, or break and close below this level that gives us a confirmation that we are potentially breaking down into lower pricing to further discounted pricing. Now, keeping in mind, we are currently sitting in this trading range. This is our dealer range. This is where we are looking for buys and sells. Now you can see we're in the upper part of this dealer range, this trading range, if you want to call it like this. So this is where the market is looking for potential sells to come down to a discount range where they can buy and add optimal trade entries for their position to continue higher. And like Smiles pointed out, to see a continuation to form a leg up where they break above the previous high, that gives us again an even stronger confirmation for a continuation to the upside. Now, we've mapped out these key levels, and again, I point out, if you had followed our reports and you've been subscribing to Moonacade and TradeAcade, reporting and our YouTube channel, you would have had the access to these levels well in advance to add to your portfolios and to get these optimal buy entries. So if you had bought, at this $3,500 level, you'll see that price actually came down to $3,503. Now, the objective of our zones is not to give you the exact dollar value to the cent, but to give you a zone of interest where you can find the highest probability entries to add to your position, or where you can start selling or laddering out your positions so that you can grow your portfolio effectively. This is super important, and without the clarity of how the market moves, these levels mean nothing, and that's why we're doing these reports for you guys, so that you can have total confidence in why and how we are entering in these positions, and why we're suggesting to look at these key levels, because we know it works. We've studied price, we know how each coin is, the characteristics of each coin, and we know how they move and how they like to operate, and how their price efficiency will work, and how their price balancing and the efficiency works in terms of the order flow of the market. Now, I think I've said too much on Ethereum. I think I've spoken about or highlighted the key levels. Should we see a push in Bitcoin further down, we can expect Ethereum to come down into these levels to fill in any price inefficiency in this impulse move or leg to the upside. What is important to highlight is we need to stay above the $2,600 level, because the reason being is if we are going to break again with a candle close below this level, we can expect prices to trade down lower into various regions further down, all depending on what Bitcoin does. Once we know what Bitcoin does, we can then look at Ethereum and determine what is Ethereum's reaction. Is Ethereum going with Bitcoin's trend, or is it stalling or going against it? Is it going sideways? What is it doing? And based off of that, we can then look at various old projects that will then follow suit, due to the fact that they might be built on the Ethereum blockchain, etc. But not going into too much details there. Just basically highlighting the fact that should we be going down, we can expect price to trade lower again into this $3,500 region, because of obviously price inefficiency with the sharp spike up. We could expect some movement around this level just to full price, and then see a bullish continuation to the upside, or we can have another scenario trading slightly lower depending on what Bitcoin does. Now I'm going to give over to Smiley and see if he's got anything for us to add, or if there's anything that I might have missed based on the analysis. Smiley, over to you.
All right, thanks, Smokey. I just while you're doing your analysis, I was also going through my analysis, which I've done on Ethereum, and currently following back testing or following your steps. And all I can see is, I think everything is intact. Yeah. considering the fact the other time I said on our Friday live show, I was kind of saying some things about Ethereum that there's some certain investors that are keeping Ethereum and checking what exactly BTC is doing next. And the moment the BTC is dumping, they take out their money from the BTC and they also invest in Ethereum. I was trying to say that, if you guys can recollect. Now, basically, we can see no matter if you can calculate the percentage drop from the weekly time frame. I'm coming. I just want to pull out something. Okay, that is around 27.79% drop. Yeah. Normally, checking Ethereum, if Ethereum should follow what exactly BTC is doing, then I believe we should have visited the zone of $2,793 and $206 and something. So that aside, now considering what Smokey had said, yeah, the key zones is what is important. Yeah, exactly. My own, I think, following what Smokey said, the key zones we should be also observing right now is that we want Ethereum to stay above the $2,600. Yeah, because the moment Ethereum closes above that, then we can start another structural impulsive move. Now, checking the daily time frame. Yeah, checking the daily time frame, just to buttress what our Smokey said, we can see a value demand zone around $4,039 and $39,014. And see what happened. We had a liquidity grab. Yeah, a liquidity grab occurred and came down to around $3,484. That was superb, because we had a sort of accumulation. After the accumulation, then we have the rally. Then price came back into the box of that accumulation, and in that accumulation, we had a demand zone in that accumulation. Yeah, and believe me, after that demand zone, a long wick came, which I call a liquidity grab, and filled in that demand zone. Then we have a close above the $4,039. And now, buttressing what Smokey said, the key zones we want Ethereum should keep is that we want Ethereum to stay above the $2,600. Yeah, I think that is the little I have to say, because before we can have another structural impulsive move, a lot of investors need to know what exactly BTC is doing. So, backing what Smokey said, I believe we want a close above 40,000 for BTC to know the next move for Ethereum.
Thanks once again, Smile. Let's have a look. I'm going to try and see if we can move along a little bit more through the information, because there's quite a lot of information, and we've still got about 17 coins to get through. So let's see if we can keep it a little bit less information, but obviously to the point, so we can move through them swiftly, because a lot of the information is in the report, and the goal about the obviously live session is just to give a little bit more context about what and why we've said certain key things in our reports. Now, looking at BNB, we have seen, that price is not broken above the $650 level, like we said. Keep in mind, we always give two scenarios. We give the sort of bullish continuation scenario, and then we give the corrective or the pullback scenario, which is highlighted by this blue and purple sort of mapping that we've done here. Now, looking at price currently, and once again, I just want to highlight, like, if you look at our past reports and you look at the videos and the webinars that we've done last week, you can see where we've mapped out the pricing and where prices reacted. Like BNB came down to $489.20. Now, that's $10 below our second zone to add to our positions. This is like, as close as you're going to get. We can get obviously closer if we really want to get technical, but the objective is not to get to the dollar. The idea is to get you the best possible zone so you can have the most efficient sort of trading opportunity to add to your position. And we want to try and stay objective as possible, because not everyone is going to be in front of the markets at that exact time when price reacts. Now, looking at BNB, we can see that there's still this candle body has closed below the previous candle body, which indicates that there's still some bearish momentum in the current price action. Now, as we know that Binance likes to move sort of in $50 increments. So what we can expect is price to do one or two things. Trade down lower, close below the $550 level, push back up, either slightly above it or sort of at that region before continuing down to the $500 level to mitigate some unfulfilled orders on lower time frames, or then coming down into sort of this consolidation or demand zone between the $500 to $450 region. Now, again, if Bitcoin retraces more, we can expect price to go down to $400 before we see a continuation to the upside. But keeping in mind that the structure overall is still bullish currently, and we are expecting at some point a clear reversal. And once we have that sort of confirmed reversal based off of Bitcoin, and then looking at the various alts, we will see a continuation. That's it for me for BNB. Is there anything that you would like to add, Smiley, to it, or can we move on?
We can move on. We can move on.
Fantastic. Let's move on. If you're happy with that, then let's move on. So let's have a look at Solana. Solana has been obviously quite active. We haven't seen any major retracements since the start of the bullish sort of momentum in July. We've seen a very strong push. Now, we've had some sort of, significant retracements and pullbacks like we can see currently, but overall the structure is still bullish. Again, I want to highlight, look at how beautiful prices reacted to these zones. I cannot emphasize it enough, like how accurate our analysis of last week was. It's absolutely beautiful to see. We came down, we wicked as low as 169. Now that is $6 away from our zone where we said, like, this is the first opportunity for you to add to your position and then ladder in should we see price trade lower. This is absolutely beautiful. Now, we can still see quite a strong push down, and we are expecting price to find a sort of, a change in market structure around the $175 to hopefully $150 range. The reason being, look at this major consolidation here, which shows us a bit of support and resistance to potentially push us back up as we see that there's more momentum in the market. Now, in order for us to change our perspective of this current sort of downtrend continuation, we need to see a break above the previous lower high, and this could be the $205 to $210 region, but ideally we want to see a close above the $230 to $220 region to see a break above this, because ultimately, like we've seen in the past, with Bitcoin breaking down below the $53,000, you can see that these levels that we've mapped out with our quarterly levels and all of our pricing data and models that we use, we can see that this would be the strongest validation for continuation. Now, again, the key levels, I'm not going to map everything out, but you can see some of the key levels that we've mapped out in the sort of short-term future. And that's it for Solana for me. Is there anything you want to add, Smiley or Stony?
No, I think we've pretty much looked at, I think in the report you'll find in-depth information of everything that's kind of going on. So I think if the users are looking for more information around the coins that we've mapped out, everything that's going on, they can get in contact, get subscribed, and get the full report on all the coins. But one of the things I think we should leave the users with is to just have a look at the markets. We can see very interesting moves coming in. We can see that a lot of the news and hype is going around some of the coins, especially around the metaverse. So I think stay tuned and just have a look at what's going on in the news and stay safe. And I think that's it from my side. Smiley, if you want to just add something to the viewers.
All right, thanks. I'm certainly okay with the analysis. All the king zones and demand zones, everything has been expected. And back to Solana, I think Solana is kind of following all these hypes. So I think we should have another impulsive move from here. Yeah, we should have, according to what Smokey is analyzing, following the key zones. So we are expecting before we can say the right move or the redirection. I think we should expect a close for the for Bitcoin. Then I believe alt will definitely restructure themselves, and we have a nice directional bias. Thanks.
Okay, perfect, Smiley. Thank you, Stony, for that information. I know there's quite a lot of information that we've got. And if you've liked this information, you feel that it's relevant and that we can add value to your portfolio and how you manage to grow your crypto portfolio, please like and subscribe our Moonacade channel. There will be a TradeAcade channel coming soon. Also, don't forget, if you want to get to exchange where you can lower your trading fees and save significantly up to 40%, look at our description below. Look at FTX, which is our trading platform partner that we use, and we can offer you, by joining our referral link, you can save up to 40% on your trading fees, which I think is a significant saving, especially looking at how price sensitive the crypto market and the exchanges are compared to Forex. So this will really help. The exchange is really interactive. We will also be doing some videos on how to use and set up the exchange for you guys that want to transition over, that's looking for alternative platforms that you can, move your funds to, that you can easily trade and, trade your various derivatives, spot trading, etc. That's it for us for now. Thank you guys for joining me. I really enjoyed tonight. I'm sorry that we obviously took up so much of your time, but I hope to see you guys during the week so that we can add to this, great analysis that we had and this win rate that we had last week, and I hope to continue that. So please don't forget to also join us on Friday nights for the Cryptoverse Hangouts, which is every Friday night, same time, 8 o'clock South African time, 7 o'clock Nigerian time, as well as joining us in Dubai at 10 o'clock the evening. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Goodbye.